welcome to another episode of Walk with Elias. I'm your host, Elias J. Williams. It's with two L's. And today I'm going to give you a different format. I stumbled across this Reddit group, and they end up posting like relationship issues, and you can kind of respond or whatever. And so I'm going to read those out to you. And the theme of today seems to be with the three that I picked. It's either being selfish, right? You see people that are being extremely selfish, and then you find people not thinking about themselves enough, and then ending up having resentment when they put other people first too much and then not themselves. So there is a thin line between selfish and not necessarily selfless, but selfish and selfless. Very very thin line. And sometimes people, I think, if you grew up in a certain environment, perhaps you were made to feel like doing things for yourself first wasn't right, and so you tend to put people first more often than not, and then you don't take care of yourself. For that, you cannot pour from an empty cup, people. But then on the other end, you have people that are very selfish, only think about themselves, and so you'll get that perspective from these stories today. So if you find some value in this, please like, subscribe, share, comment, dislike. Doesn't really matter, because hate is just another form of love. You can follow me on Instagram, walk_with_Elias. All right, let's do this. Take a walk with me. All right, so the first one comes from Reddit user 1789W. And it's titled, "She Went for the Other Guy." So today was the final race of my girlfriend's male best friend. She posted all over social media that she is officially with him. It breaks me emotionally because she wronged me so much in my life. All she ever thought about was her self-interest. Now that her male best friend is successful, she switched to him. I need a drink. Anyone? And how do you recover from that? I'm broken. There were so many red flags, and I just edit. I'm so stupid. And I referred to her as my girlfriend, so I guess I have to call her my ex now. Well, sir, I think the first thing you should probably understand is that there's some women in life where they're not actually your girl. It's just your turn at the moment. And now it's obviously his turn. Women do tend to date up, but thanks to some actual context, the user actually is probably in a better position. He actually helped the guy get to where he was. I think what's more important about this one is that he mentions all she ever thought about was her self-interest, but the problem was all you ever thought about was her self-interest. You didn't seem to do anything as far as, like, you were always constantly doing for her, doing for her, doing for her. And you put so much into the investment, to see the investment go to zero, it hurts you. And that's fine. That's what happens when you invest in a woman. You expect to, get some level of return on the investment. And that's fine. But I think the most important thing that needs to be understood is that a lot of times women move along to different guys, and a lot of times it's in your best interest. You no longer have that burden to deal with anymore. But you also need to realize that you contributed to that and her state of mind just as much as she did. Because obviously you have a need to be wanted. You wanted to give to her, and you wanted, it was almost like you were giving to get something in return, to make her dependent on you. So you constantly did and did. So you have to ask yourself, why do you feel the need to take care of a person in that manner so much? Because that's something within you that's causing that issue. And until you resolve it, you will probably keep attracting women like that in your life. You're better off without her. Trust me when I tell you. It seems like this big thunderstorm, this big cloud right now, but I guarantee you're much better off without her. Your recovery is actually not having her. You don't need to recover from losing her. Losing her is your recovery from having to go through all of that. Now you get some time to focus on yourself and take care of you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And there'll be plenty of people in life that you need to give to. She's just not one of them. All right. See what the next one is. Ah, ah. Big Permission 6807. Pregnant wife wants to come join me on my jogs regularly. She just wanted to join me on my jogs a couple of weeks ago. In the beginning, it was fine, but she's so slow. I can't finish my workouts because we have to go at her pace, and it's not as physically challenging. I took up jogging in March and have really enjoyed my time alone to de stress. Would it be okay, in your opinion, to ask her to let me go on my jogs alone? Well, sir, from this, just the way it's worded, you come across incredibly selfish. You don't want to go at her pace. It's all about you getting your alone time. Has it ever occurred to you that this woman is carrying your child? So it's you know she's not only walking for to be with you, but she's walking to keep her health intact and to also take care of the child. And the only thing that seems to matter is how you feel. You can't finish your workout. It's not challenging enough. Trust me, there's nothing more challenging than birthing a child. So the little minuscule amount of lack of challenge that you're going through um, is so minor in the grand scheme of things. Now we don't have proper context, but if she asks to join you, it's either one of two things. Either she wants to join you because she wants to remain active and healthy, which is a good thing. You should actually appreciate that. Um, or she wants to join you because she needs to feel your presence. This woman is pregnant, so she's experiencing a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings that are unfamiliar for her. So she potentially wants some stability. She wants to stay around you. Now, either again, it's just from the standpoint of she just wants to exercise. It can be as simple as she just wants to exercise, or it could be that you have been mentally checked out. Now, I don't know, but based on the way you worded this, I would assume that you've probably been mentally checked out and physically unavailable to a point, so you're probably still working. And so she's looking forward to making some kind of time with you. Make some time for your wife, man. Take some time out. Even if listen, there's so many ways to make it more challenging. Like you can drop down and do some push-ups every so often. If you get that far and ahead of her, drop down and do 30, 40 push-ups. There's tons of ways to make it challenging. So why aren't you looking at it from that perspective is the issue. And that's where I get to the point that you're being selfish. So what you need to do is be a little bit more empathetic towards your wife and your child and stop making it about you. All right. And then finally, we have does the cat mouse strategy really work in a relationship to deepen intimacy? And this is from Shane Edlin 99. So he says, I have been with my wife for almost 3 years now. I love her dearly and could not imagine life without her. The only problem is, or the only problem I have is that I feel starved of passion and intimacy. She never craves sex. It's just something she allows to happen every once in a while. I've never felt any desire or passion from her. I seek to feel desire. I am constantly getting rejected and it is hurtful. I feel ashamed when I touch her to try to get any sexual tension going because I know it won't work. And I just feel like a pervert. I'm just very attracted to her and crave intimacy deeply. I feel like it is also important to mention that she is clinically depressed and works 2 jobs. I know that would definitely reduce her libido, but she has never been passionate. Will distancing myself encourage her to be more passionate? I will do anything besides breaking up with her or bringing this up to her. If I tell her how I am feeling, then she will feel coerced to act a certain way, and it will not fix the problem at all. Well, sir, not talking to her about it won't fix the problem either. That's pretty interesting that you pretty much talking like an absolute, like knowing it won't fix the problem. How do you know that? I always say that women are a reflection of you. What you're the energy that you're giving off, she reflects back to you. So maybe you need to be more passionate. Maybe you need to show her that you desire her, but you also need to stop looking for validation from her from sex. That seems to be the most important. Imagine her being on your end, working two jobs. Like imagine yourself from her perspective. She works two jobs, right? She's being a wife. She's already dealing with depression, and it seems like the only way her husband feels valued, despite her doing all of this, the only way her husband feels valued is if she has sex with him. Wouldn't that make you not want to have sex? Like, wow, a piece of meat. Yeah, yeah, I don't really care for you unless I have sex with you. So if I don't have sex with you, it's like you got to look at it from her perspective. The amount of pressure you're putting on sex already adds to a pressured life for her. So you seeking validation from her, how she feels about you through sex, makes her probably feel like the only way that you value her is if she has sex with you, which means that's going to turn her off, my guy. Clearly, you need to learn about communication. That's probably the most important thing, because I'm pretty sure if you asked her, you talked about it and expressed how you felt, she would potentially express how she felt, and maybe y'all would get on the same page. But by you assuming that talking about it won't fix anything, it seems to me as though you're suffering from your past. Perhaps you talked to someone before and it didn't fix anything. And while the past is typically a good indicator of future pretenses, people are different, situations are different. Therefore, you cannot necessarily rely on the past to determine how a person is going to react. So you're very much doing a disservice in your marriage by not communicating this. But you're also really probably making your wife feel like shit, my guy. Because the only way you appear to value her is through sex. Have a conversation, talk to her about it, but you need to appreciate her in different ways. And you need to show her that you're passionate, and your passion doesn't just, it's not just passionate for sex. Cook with her. Do things that show that you desire her. A lot of the times, the thing that we're seeking from other people is what we need to give them. So while you want her to desire you, maybe you should show her that you desire her. All right. I love you today. I'll be here tomorrow. Peace.